for me, I don't know if you know about Mike Ryan and my T25 crew's up here. If you guys don't know this, I was blessed to be part of the T25 test group. I struggled with my weight a little bit, and I actually, I know I've lost another inch since I've been here because my belt's an issue, but these guys are amazing. I've invited them to sit in the front of the house because they deserve it, but what an amazing honor it is for me to be up here with Mike Ryan. I mean, Mike and I go back quite a long ways. In fact, how many of you have seen my silver underwear pic on your join button? So what you don't possibly know is Mike and I were part of the first challenge at the same time in 2008, and Mike had a blue underwear picture that was just like mine.
But yeah, we lived about 2,800 miles away from each other, had never met.
Never met.
The first time that he and I ever met was at Summit, not knowing anybody at all. And then, well, I didn't know anybody at all.
And I did wall squats with your wife during the P90X workout, and that's how we became friends.
That's right. So here we are,
crazy.
Best of friends. We go, you know.
And we've went on. I mean, you've been to my home in Ohio. I've been to your home in Bakersfield. We've traveled to France together. But you're talking about two real guys, right? Real guys from real places. You know, I'm from a small town, Bellevue, Ohio. Anybody in here from Bellevue, Ohio? We got some people. I got 3, baby. I got 3 of them to join me. So we're just like you. You know, people that come from real place. I'm a high school football coach. You look out my back door, there's a cornfield. You know, I know Mike Ryan has an incredible story of his journey and his life. Why don't you just share a little bit about yourself?
Hey, so I'm from Bakersfield, California. Everybody from Bakersfield in the room? We got a few, all right. So we're like the oil and ag epicenter of California, and I think most people think of Bakersfield, they think of Buck Owens and Merle Haggard and country music, and I don't know what else, oil wells, I guess. But, you know, it's a family town, it's a good town, a lot of great people, and we've got a huge, thriving team there. And it all started with, you know, I caught this infomercial on TV one night for P90X. Like, has anybody seen that thing on TV?
A little bit, yeah.
And so what's funny is it's kind of the history of where we all came from. It started with this thing on TV. You found it, I found it. We were customers, you know, dropped into the customer lead program. Here we are. And we said yes to life repeatedly. We went to everything. Anything we could qualify for, we qualified for it. If they had a thing where you could go to a leadership event, we're like, what does it take to go there?
Yeah.
And we did it.
And we just made sure it happened. I remember my first game plan event, I drove 5 hours to Chicago. I actually called Josh Spencer up and said, Josh, we've never been to an event. We didn't know crap about coaching. At that time, there was nothing else. We didn't know crap about objection handling. Right? We didn't have those kind of people skills. We were just very enthusiastic about products, but found ourselves a lot of times running into some brick walls in those conversations with people, because when you don't have skill sets, it's easy to provoke objections and get excuses from people just because of how you handle situations. So Mike and I have spent a lot of time really just studying people, studying communication, practicing things, making mistakes with people and going, what did I screw up here, right? How many of you have made mistakes with people and you know you did, and you're like kicking yourself in the tail because you know you screwed up that potential life? And the thing is, when you screw up, it's okay. That's part of your education. That's part of your learning. What's not okay is to not learn from that and move forward with it. So why don't we get on to the next slide, because Mike's going to spend some time with you talking about what we're going to talk about today, which is mastering objections.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, for me, I learned through failure. Like, if you've ever read John C. Maxwell's book, Failing Forward, I'm like, wow, there was a lot of life lived and a lot of life lessons in that book. And I was willing to fail because I believed in what we were doing. I believed in myself. I knew that what we had would change lives because it changed my life. And then I was okay with people not getting it. I thought, okay, if I get a no and I get a no and I get a no, I'm just getting closer to my yes. And like Tommy said, I would spend a lot of time working hard on understanding where did I maybe just screw up in that conversation. Did I talk too much? Which for me was an issue, actually.
How many people have that issue? You can't shut your friggin' mouth.
You just want to tell P90X stories.
That's me.
I lost 44 pounds and I feel great and I sleep great and blah, 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 and we'd puke up. And like Tracy Morrow called it today, the fact acts. Just picture that they're a tree and you're cutting that thing down. Fact after fact after fact. And we'll get into that in this presentation about facts, how facts tell and stories sell. But you're going to walk away with some really key things today. And it's our goal to have you just feel so much more confident when you leave here today, armed with the knowledge of how to go have a better conversation, how to get more distance out of it, that you realize it's not some anecdotal statement we're going to give you, some magic words that you can take back and go, oh, I can say this, and then it fixes them, and they say yes, and they buy my challenge pack, and they take my challenge, they get ripped, and then they're on stage next year. It doesn't happen that way. So we're going to go through and lay the groundwork and really help you get through to this.
Yeah. So oh, I got to go back. Hold on. Dang buttons. Sorry about that. How do I go back? Ready? Back. So listen, we have to have an agreement. You guys showed up, and I want you to understand something, man. There's a lot of people out there getting drunk by the pool right now, right? Or they went back to their room to socialize a little bit before they go to the T25 workout, which they should be going to. But you guys are the ones that are dead serious about doing this and getting better, right? And so you guys, I'm telling you, I mean, there's 7,000 people at this, and right now there's only about 2,500 to 4,000 of those people actually sitting in a chair learning something and getting better, right? And you're some of those people. So that deserves respect. And so we don't want to waste your time. We want to bring you something that's going to be worth your time, right? More than what that beer is worth for those people that are sitting out by that dang pool, right? They should be having beer at 10 o'clock tonight, not right now. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk to you about how to identify common objections. There's some common objections you get, right? And we all know time, money, spouse, you know, that crap's too hard, I can't do it. All that stuff. We're going to give you some skills and methods to prevent and avoid objection. And so there's a difference between objection prevention and avoidance and objection handling. Do you guys understand that? Yeah. Many times you provoke objections, and Mike has some great stuff. I provoke objections all the time with my wife, you know? How many people do that, right? Yeah. But these skill sets work at home too. They do. They really do. But Mike has some great stuff. And so how it's going to set up is this. Mike's going to talk to you. He's got some really great stuff. He's going to kind of give you the philosophy and the thinking behind it. And then I'm going to actually take and role play for you exactly how I do the 5-step process and how that works verbally with people, whether it's on the phone or whether it's on Facebook or whether it's face-to-face, and show you exactly what we do in the field that helps us prevent and avoid objections. How many people would like to understand that a little bit more so you don't keep running into the same friggin' wall all the time? And this is all stuff that you can learn. It's all stuff that you can learn. And then we're going to give you some specific objection handling techniques that you can go through. So Mike's going to take it over right now and talk to you about what your job is.
Yeah, so the key thing when we talk about being humble and being coachable or teachable is that's a pretty big statement to say that I'm coachable. Because when you say that you're coachable, that means you're okay with feedback. That means you're okay with your mentor, your coach, your success partner, whoever that is for you, whoever that is, guiding you or giving you that criticism, that you take it that way. But if you don't take it as criticism, you go over here and you go, okay, give me some feedback. Tell me what I'm doing. Tell me what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Maybe tell me some places I can get better. That's a way for you to really start working on yourself. Because just like these workouts, this is the workout for our business right here, right? So if you imagine if you go to P90X 4 times in the next year, you're going to get ripped. But guess what? On day 1 of the second year, day 366 from now, you're still doing chest, back, and abs. Yet you're getting 20 pull-ups a set. Now you're just banging on ab reps like crazy, and you're working out with Tony in the front row and proud of it, right? Well, what if you only do P90X for 90 days through the next full year? You just don't get that great of results. And that's what happens a lot of time in the business. And so when I say be humble and be coachable, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about people that are really going to go all in. I kind of have this thing about I'm all in. If you see that hashtag, we've been pumping it for a long time.
Yeah. I want to tell you a story about Mike. When he talks about being humble and coachable, okay, the week that he hit 15-star diamond, in fact, the day that he officially turned 15-star diamond,
Thursday morning,
Mike and I spent 2 hours on the phone, and he was asking me questions about how to do this, right? How many of you, when you hit 15-star diamond, you're not going to spend 2 hours on the phone trying to learn more that day, right? You're going to be cashing in that $40,000 bonus check. That's what you're going to be doing. But Mike, that's who Mike is. Mike is always wanting to learn. When you see successful people like us, we're always wanting to learn, just like you guys do with fitness. So anyway, your job is to identify what we bring today. There's a lot of what we say today that's going to go over your head. Some of it's going to go under your feet. And some of it's going to come like a friggin' bullet right at your chest, right? Whatever's hitting you in the chest today over the next 50 minutes, that's what you want to catch. Don't catch the stuff that's uncatchable. Whatever 2 or 3 or 4 things are speaking to you today, that's what you need to take, that's what you need to apply, that's what you need to learn and go do out in the field. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right, so here we go, Mike. You want the clicker? Because this is your section.
Sure.
So,
thank you, Tommy.
You're welcome.
So here's the most common objections on earth, right? And for me, I just in my head, they mostly boil down to time and money. And last time I checked, I don't know anybody that gets less than 24 hours in a day. Do you, Tommy?
No.
Anybody else? Paul, Rob, Laura, anybody? 24 hours in a day, right? We're all on the same page. We've got 24 hours in a day. So when people give me the time excuse, I just laugh in my head to myself. I'm like, oh, here we go again. And you have to look at this as like kind of a fun thing because you're going to get it a lot. So you don't look at it and be pissed and go, oh, dang it, I got it again. And a lot of people will do is they'll get the money objection and they'll hear somebody say, okay, well, you know what? A challenge pack sounds good. I like this challenge idea. I've got goals and you seem like a nice guy. I'll go ahead and do that after I get paid in a couple weeks. It's always time and money. And last time I checked, someday isn't on the calendar. It's right now. Okay, so you ask leading questions, and we're going to get into all these different things, but these are the common things that we all run into. I mean, is there anybody that's ever had a spouse that wasn't supportive of what you're doing with this business or with the fitness, that didn't like healthy food, right? It's a common thing, it happens. And so we're not here to go ram it down their throat. We're just here to help enlighten you so that they will support you in a much better way. The pyramid thing, I literally never get that anymore because I present it with such strength and it's my confidence that comes across. And funny enough that Tommy and I are standing here together sharing this because as long as you and I have been success partners and we talk about learning from each other, and we were on the phone Thursday morning as soon as that thing clicked over the I was like, ooh, what can I do? And people were calling, congratulating, and I'm like, I got stuff that's wrong, I got to fix, I got people to help. And all the diamonds and all this stuff represents, it's not about me, it's not about Tommy, those are about you. Those are about lives that we've helped empower, we've enlightened, we've empowered, and then it's up to you to go do the thing. And so, here's the big thing with the order of things. This is the thing I created, it's called the 7 R's. When you want to make a recommendation to somebody, picture this for a second. You're at your kid's Little League game, and I sit down next to you, and I start telling you, hey, you need to do P90X. You ever seen that on TV? I did it, I kicked ass, I'm awesome. It's great, you should do it, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Shakeology's cool, it's meal replacement. It's chocolate, tastes good, it's yummy, makes you poop, regular, whatever, right? So people go and they tell these stories, and they don't really tell stories. What they're telling is a bunch of facts about themselves and about this workout. Have a little rapport first, have a little get to know you. I don't think that worked when you were dating and you're single and you just ran up to the girl at the bar like, oh, hey, I'm awesome, you gotta check me out, it's great, come on, let's go. It just doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? So you have some rapport.
For me.
Well, okay.
Even as a fat guy, I had a hot personality. So.
Confidence. So you have some rapport before you have relationship. Okay, so even if I catch up with somebody I went to high school with and I haven't seen them in a long time, we need to do some catching up. Just because I played soccer or golf or something with somebody in high school doesn't mean that's what they're doing today. They might be a farmer, they might be a doctor, I don't know what they're doing. And it's up to us to have a good conversation to find out. So why would you ever recommend anything before you've done that? Mm-hmm. But yet so many people want to go out there and tell these P90X stories and insanity, and now it's going to be T25. I mean, look how good you look, man. T25 is like...
Tell you what, man, it's legit, isn't it? It's legit, seriously.
We got a bunch of T25ers over here.
T25ers over here.
I have people showing me abs and people looking at Pini on stage. Like, man, you guys are good.
And really what you're talking about, though, is the whole, like, what I've learned from Danny is relationship first, business follows in every conversation.
Absolutely.
Every conversation, relationship first, business follows. I do that with every prospect. I do that with my wife, right? I want to talk to her about life first before saying, honey, did you get the laundry done? Right? Relationship first, business follows.
How's your day?
Right? You said, hey. Yeah, anyway, you see, I'll just shut up. I'm digging a hole with the women in here. All right.
She's not here today, huh?
So, yeah.
Okay, so we used to have this thing, and a lot of people have probably heard the 3 R's: retail, recruit, retain. That's just sales. That's not exciting. That's like go to a car lot and go to a thing, and no disrespect, but you know, I don't need somebody to come say anecdotal things and act like they're my friend. Just come, hey man, how's it going? We all get that same innocuous greeting every day, all day long. We've all done it to everybody today. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? And most of the time they answer that wrong. You know, hey, what have you been up to? Good. They don't even pay attention to it. They're not even listening. So when when I'm checking in the hotel, I said, hey, how are you doing? And the girl's like, oh, great. I said, hey. And I stopped. She makes eye contact with me. I go, how are you really doing? You doing all right? You having a good day? Did you just get on? Are you just getting off? Like, what's your, you do long lines tonight? And you just engage them in the conversation where they are right now. You make it about them. It's not about you. So it's kind of like you want to give, you got to earn. So let's earn some time with people. And so this 7 R's is really just a simple thing to remember, where you have some rapport, you have a relationship, you have a recommendation. Hey, that's so cool, man. You sound like you want to do a lot of things that I want to do. You got to check this out, man. I don't know. I just know I sleep better, I feel great, my waist is smaller, these jeans fit me now. I'm like, you got to check it out. Let me get your contact info and I'll send you some stuff on that. Does that sound fair? Great. Made a recommendation. Retail, recruit, retain. They have retain on there twice. So it goes retail next, then recruit, then retain, then you repeat it. Okay?
So you guys got in the back. I know you guys can't read that. Go ahead. So number 1 is rapport.
Rapport, then relationship, recommendation, retail, recruit, retain, and then repeat. So here's the deal. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
That's a nugget you want to write down, right there.
People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Why do you do it? Why'd you do T25? Why did you do P90X in 2008? Why did we work so hard? All those things, because we got something out of that. And I love that when Tony explains things like the hippocampus part of the brain and endorphins and serotonin and norepinephrine and all that stuff, those are great facts, and they're things I might tell later and teach them in a challenge group, but right now I don't. It's like, we get that same common greeting of, hey, how's it going? Or hey, what's up? It's like, oh man, I've been doing T25. I've never slept so good in years. My pants fit me great. But how are you doing? I drop a little hint about what I've been doing. It's interesting. It's a unique answer to the common question we get asked 110 times a day. The clerk at the grocery store, they're not even making eye contact. They're just, hey, how you doing? Doing great. How are you doing? Everything great? You want to make a donation today to Fit for Life, whatever? And then they don't. It's connect. You get them to make eye contact and connect, so they hear you. So what the whole deal is with this bullseye, if anybody's ever read the book Start With Why from Simon Sinek, he's got one of the most viewed TED Talks of all time. It's 18 minutes that would change your life. I wouldn't possibly do it justice, but I'm going to give you a little summary of what this is. I would strongly recommend that you Google Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K, TED. It's a TED Talk. It's 18 minutes of amazingness. Mm-hmm. And he so clearly articulates how you need to lead with why. So again, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Most people lead with the what. The what ring are the products, the Shakeology, P90X, TurboFire, etc. The how, sometimes you get a little crafty, you go, oh, hey, you're a computer genius, that's cool. You'd be great with social media. Oh man, I should tell you about Wayne Wyatt, and he builds his business, he's got 6 kids, and orthodontist, he fixes teeth, and he can type. Right? That's just not connecting at all. You get to the why. So I share a tiny little bit about why I do it, and I'm going to dig about why they do it. What's their why, rather? Sorry, what's their why? So I need to do some discovery. I need to ask good questions. We have to just be great at asking questions. When I was younger and I worked in a retail sports shop that one of my brothers owns, I learned how to build houses working at a sports shop. I never worked in a construction crew. I never did drywall. I didn't have a father who built homes. I just had so many good conversations with customers that came in the store that one day I realized, wow, there's only about 40 trades that go into building a home. And then I learned the order about how they went, and I learned what made them tick, and I learned what made them have hard days. And these guys kept coming in, some girls, and it's just repeat of having good conversation with them, finding out about them. And in that process, that connective tissue, I'm establishing a relationship with this person so that when I went to go build my first house as an owner builder, I built this beautiful home that was architecturally incredible. And that was my first foray into home. It wasn't a little 1,500-foot dinger that looked like everything else on the street. I didn't copy something. I went to an architect, we worked on the plans. I learned this working at a sports shop. Okay, so it's with this practice of discovering why people do what they do. Why is that guy a great plumber? Or why is this guy a great architect? Or why are you a great teacher? Whatever that is, and we find out what turns you on, and then we find out maybe what you don't like about it. You might love your job, but you hate your commute. You might love your job, but it just doesn't pay very well. You might love what you do, but your boss is an alcoholic tyrant. You might hate what you do, but the people you work with are great. There's so many versions of that story, and it's up to us to be on this path of discovery, to connect with another human being, because every one of you are incredibly special. Everybody's got an amazing story. Everybody's got a background. You've got a childhood. You've got history behind you. And I think about, when we talk about time and the 24 hours in a day thing, I think about famous people in history, and my team's heard this from me a lot of times, but a lot of you guys haven't heard this, but it's profound to think about what, say, Einstein or Shakespeare or Mozart or John F. Kennedy or Martin Luther King or any of these prolific people in our history did with their 24 hours in a day. You might not remember what they did, but you remember why they did it. I don't remember everything. I remember one thing Martin Luther King said, obviously, we all do. He had a dream. Kind of cool, the whole theme of this weekend is dream big. We remember why he did it. Okay, Shakespeare was responsible for 10% of the common sayings in the English language. That's passion behind what he wrote. The heart, the feel, it pulls at your heartstrings. Okay, everybody's got these amazing stories. It's finding a way to connect with another person. And when you get somebody that's either abrasive or they just don't get it or they're being a jerk, whatever, let them go. It's no big deal. There's 500 million people in North America.
So can I give a specific example?
Yes.
Like using this, because I think this is really good. How many of you run into the opportunity where somebody asks you about a product that we have? They ask you about Shakeology, or they ask you about P90X, or they ask you about the challenge group, and sometimes you just kind of screw it up from there, or it doesn't turn into a conversion and that person actually being in the group. How many of you struggle with that? When those oh man, okay. So here's really what this is showing us, specifically with what we do, is this. When that opportunity arises, let's say somebody comes up and says, hey, what's this T25? I can either say what it is, right? I can talk about how it's a workout, or I can say why I love it, and then flip it back on them. Does that make sense? So if somebody comes to me and says, hey, what's this T25 stuff? Then how to handle it by leading with why would be, oh man, let me tell you, I was struggling trying to get enough exercise in because I just didn't have an hour a day. And this thing has totally changed the game for me because, and not only that, it's helped me lose 25 pounds in almost 9 weeks, which is pretty incredible. And it just really has helped me a lot. Why do you ask? I lead with my why, right? I don't talk about the product, I talk about what it has done for me, why I love it, why it worked, right? And then I say, why do you ask? Because they asked for a reason. And when we do the 5 steps, it'll go right into that. So anyway, I just thought that was like a specific example of how to use that target when someone asks you. How many of you in that situation, maybe they ask about T25 and you just vomit about the friggin' workout and Sean T and all the burpees that you do and how friggin' hard it is, right? Not a lot of people out there want something that's gonna totally kick their ass for the entire time. So stop talking about that. You're scaring them away.
And it's okay, because we've all screwed this up, and when we had the T25 test disc as elite coaches, I wasn't in the test group like you were, but when we got the test disc, I screwed up and told somebody about one-arm burpees.
Oh yeah, no, they're not. I can't do a one-arm burpee.
I'm out of here.
Don't tell them what's in it.
One-arm burpees, really? No, I want to kill you.
Don't lead with what? A one-arm burpee is what is in it. You see that?
Yeah.
You guys, and that's where we screwed up. So anyway, let's get going because we got some.
All right. So obviously we're talking about relating to people, and in with that is that you have to be great at sharing stories. Yeah. Okay. So facts tell and stories sell.
And you want to write that down because here's what's going to happen. You're going to find yourself fact vomiting, and when you remember this stupid little simple statement, you'll stop yourself from vomiting facts and go to stories. Does that make sense?
So you have to be a collector of stories. It's literally your mission in life as a Beachbody coach to get as many stories under your belt as possible. Now, say you're a brand new coach today, okay? Is there anybody who's new, like within the last week or two? Any recently? Okay, there's a person over here. Okay, she has no stories, she's brand new. Yeah, give her a round of applause. That's pretty cool. I mean, to come to Summit after being a coach for a week, that's amazing. So she doesn't have the stories yet that we all have. She hasn't seen what we've seen. We're talking about doing wall squats with Tony Horton in 2009. We have years of history that went into this and trips and all this stuff. So on tbeachbody.com, there are all the stories from the transformation winners. That's your first place when you're newer to go garner your stories. The Team Beachbody 411 on Facebook, great place to collect stories. I love to go download those pictures, copy and paste the text, and I keep a document of all these stories. Okay, so now I have a larger team. And so within my team, I made this site that's called victorystories.com, and it's just a collection of, this is new, so it's not really finished, with big depth, but there's, 20, 30 great stories of people on our team that got great results, and it shares their story. Okay, so if I get an obese guy, I don't share a skinny guy muscle build story. If I get the skinny guy, I don't share weight loss stories. If I find a single mom, I want to line her up with another single mom. I want to tell stories to connect with the person. Because again, none of this is about me. So even if you're walking around and you're ripped buff and you're awesome and you look like you came off the track and field and you're Olympian and you're like, don't make it about you. Okay? Accept the compliment. When people pay you a compliment, this is a very key thing that anybody on my team knows about. And Monica Ward is the one who I owe great thanks to. If anybody's on the Ward's team, I didn't accept the compliment one day from Monica about a year and a half ago. And she said, "You robbed me, Mike." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" She goes, "You just took away from me the one thing that I wanted from you." She goes, "I saw something in you that inspired me. I saw something in you that I aspired to be like. And you didn't accept it with a thank you." And I'm going, wow, that's profound stuff. And when you guys are going out talking to people about things, and you're wearing your new T25 shirt, and you're looking all good, and some other mom at parent pickup goes to you and says, "Oh my God, you look so cute. What have you been doing? Oh God, what are you doing? God, you look great. Oh no, I got a lot of work to do." Fail. You don't say that. If somebody pays you a compliment and then she goes, "Oh my gosh, you look so great. What have you been up to? Oh God, you look fantastic. I heard you just ran a marathon." Thank you so much. I've been having so much fun. It's been great. It's so much fun. What have you been up to? And you flip it right back on them, but you first accept the compliment. And so in the midst of the stories, and we probably need to speed this up, don't we? Yeah. Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm just patiently shutting my mouth.
All right. So, in the midst of all that, I know we could make this an all-day seminar with this topic because it's a big, broad topic, but in the midst of all this stuff, you need to narrow the path for people. If anybody's read the book Switch by the Heath brothers, they talk about how a person's like picture an elephant with a rider. The elephant is your emotion, the rider is your rational side, and they're going down the path, right? The elephant wants to take the path it knows, it's a creature of habit, great, it keeps going. You need to help narrow the path and realize the power of emotion, because we buy on emotion, but we justify with facts. But you can't do one or the other, you gotta do a little bit of both. So realize the power of the emotion, which is why the stories they capture you. They pull at your heartstrings. Have you ever cried on a stupid commercial on TV? Why the hell am I crying? It's an AT&T commercial. It's the dumbest thing in the world. They're masters of telling stories. Okay, so then, think about this for a second. When I talk about narrowing the path, when you sell them, go to my site and pick a challenge pack, I don't care how great a conversation you have, they're probably not going to buy anything. Because you gave them too many choices and they go through this analysis paralysis in their head. And it's kind of like an example they use in that book about doctors who, if you need to get your knee replaced, your hip replaced, if they had 3 pain medicines versus 2 as a choice, if they had more choices, they would opt for surgery. And you would think, wow, why wouldn't you have more choices? I could have tried more pain meds to see if it worked for you. But yet when given more choices, they tend to they go the natural path. So you have to steer that elephant, steer that powerful animal inside of you and of that person by getting down to, when you find enough out about the person and the situation, you make a great recommendation. I wouldn't give them more than 2. If you want to give them 3, you're going to probably pick something that doesn't fit. But really get it down to 2 things so they just go, look, which one do you recommend? Well, 25 minutes a day sounds like it's just right for you. Let's just start here and you can do that stuff later.
One way that I narrow the path is what you're talking about is I look for a specific type of person, and I tell people, hey, I'm looking for someone who needs to lose at least 20 pounds over the next 60 to 90 days that wouldn't mind the accountability of a group. Is there anybody you know that's like that I need to be talking with right now? So I'm not asking that person. They're going to lead me to someone that fits the category, so I'm creating a narrow path of people trying to build a specific group for a specific product, which for the rest of the year is going to be T25 for me. I'm going to be building packs. It's a narrower path. Yeah. It gets you focused on something specific that you're looking for, so you're not just trying to talk to anything and everyone. They either qualify or they don't.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Exactly. So you notice he has a focus. Kind of ironic it's called Focus T25. And after a conversation I had with Dr. Mark Chang today, because I've had a bunch of sports injuries and surgeries, he said, you know what? He goes, with whatever you're going to do for your next round, he goes, do Tai Chang on top of it. He goes, you can handle it. Yeah. And he goes, it'll probably fix your shoulder issue and this and that. And I'm like, ooh, a double challenge group. I'll go market towards people that are ex-athletes that have had injuries. And I'm going to go maybe do an insanity group with Tai Chang. So let me pass this clicker to you. And
that's our roll. I don't know where we're at. So, all right. So listen, let's talk about the 5 steps. How many of you have seen the 5 steps? Or how many of you that have seen it have actually used it in some way? How many of you, right? Okay, so I have a lot of people, I got a lot of people that come up to me and say, Tommy, I love the 5 steps, I use it. And the thing that sucks is the only people that tell me that they have ever used it are the ones that have had success with it. The people that think it's suck a bucket of ass don't ever tell me.
You can quote them on that.
It's the truth, right?
Classy Tommy.
They just avoid the topic. They don't, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is this, when, some of those videos that are in there, we've never like created a video where we're demonstrating how to do this verbally. When it first came out a couple years ago, our team has progressively gotten better with it and more focused with it. And at our events, at our live events in Ohio, we role play it and then we have you practice together. For time's sake, we don't have enough time for you to practice together what we're going to do right now, but I'm going to ask you to, when you go out in the hallways, that you practice with each other. Find a partner, find a table of people when you sit around and say, hey, can I practice on you? And we're going to role play a couple of situations. One situation is going to be, how we five-step people. The reason that I use the 5-step process is because it duplicates. It gives me an easy way to do everything that we're talking about doing. When he talks about building a rapport, it's step 2, right? When he talks about evaluating before make a recommendation, that's step 2. Does that make sense? But really, we can 5-step in 3 situations. One is when you initially build a relationship with someone. One of the biggest things that we do that create objections is we try to sell or we try to recruit on the first conversation. When we should be doing what? Relationship first, business follows. Does that make sense? Right? How many of you tried to recruit on the first conversation? Go ahead, put your hands up.
Guilty people, get your
I've done it, right? The reality is when I'm out there or when you're doing it appropriately, I'm just trying to recruit them as a friend. Someone who I can get connected to me on Facebook, so now they can come to Facebook where my big business window is posted every single day. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to convert them right there. The second type of situation would be when you get someone in that conversation where you're talking about, they ask questions about the product or they respond to a post, where you're going to then talk to them about becoming a challenger, right? And then the third type of situation is when we're looking at challengers, potential coaches, people to upgrade as a coach. So step 1 is inviting into that. Step 2 is building the rapport. Step 3 is connecting to a resource. I want you to write this down. Share the story, share the emotion, spend time asking them questions, but as soon as you start explaining, you lose. You don't want to explain. The only thing you want to do is explain how they need to watch this video or how they need to read this book. How many of you saw Tracy Morrow hold up that Shakeology book, that White Shakeology book? What an incredible resource to connect people to, right? Let the resource, here's the thing. Who do you think is smarter, you or the production team that Carl hires to do our stuff and make videos? Who's smarter, you or them?
Well, we're against 700 employees, not against, but we're I mean a giant crew of people, pretty brilliant people working on this.
So connecting them to a resource. When I'm building a relationship first, the resource I typically connect them to is I want to have their email or I want to stay connected, right? I always use Facebook. hey, are you on Facebook? Why don't we get connected on Facebook? That becomes my resource. That's my plugin. Does that make sense? Okay? Step 4 is always follow up. Pretty simple, follow up. Write this down. The fortune is in the follow-up. Many of us have conversations that we let slip by. You have a great conversation with someone who could be potentially an amazing challenger, an amazing coach, and because there's no follow-up, even if it's just a follow-up in the friendship to say, hey, how you doing? Just checking in. How's your week been? Does that make sense?
Have you ever written down found a receipt and you had a name, email, and a phone number on the back of it? And you never sent him anything, but you had this great conversation with him?
And guys, we're not perfect with that. I gotta tell you, I've probably thrown away dozens of contacts. Jimmy Nelson and I had a contact collecting challenge one time, the first time we learned to form and connect. And we went out and we went to Applebee's, we spent 2 hours, we got 36 phone numbers between the two of us. And I don't think I called a single one of them. I was just happy to get the damn numbers. I was like, that's so cool.
So the follow-up and the follow-through is kind of important.
So the follow-up, what good was it to get those numbers if I wasn't going to use it, right? Other than I practiced the skill of collecting, and then I had to learn if I didn't follow up, I was going to screw it up. So here's what I want to do, is some situational role play. I don't want to do the whole relationship first just for time's sake, because I want to show you, because I think many times we get in conversations with people about the products and about being a challenger, and we don't take them and convert them to someone who actually gets in a pack and actually gets in a group and actually finishes. Would you guys agree? Do you guys get in those situations where you're talking about the stuff? Okay, so here's what I need. I need somebody who, all right, you, brother, come here. Come here, what's your name?
I just met this guy. That's Chris Ryan from Boston. I met him in the...
Chris Ryan, come on up. You're coming up here with me, man. All right, let's welcome Chris Ryan from Boston. Cool, man. Yeah, good to meet you. So for the purpose of this, let's just say you're somebody that maybe you're on Facebook, you see one of my posts, and you had reached out to me, and you were interested in possibly getting started on the challenge group. You said, hey, can you tell me some more about this challenge group? And you're not somebody who's already like super sexy and super fit with a sexy beard or nothing like that. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So let's just, maybe you got 20, 30 pounds to lose or something like that. And you're just looking to get started on your journey. Okay. You just came off hip surgery. Okay, perfectly awesome, right? So let's say that he responds to me. What I'm gonna do, first of all, the invitation was in the connection. I invited him to reach out to me with a Facebook post. How many of you do that? You post something and message me, right? Okay, a lot of you. It could be a conversation in public, it could be wherever, right? But we get in that conversation somehow. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna see me step to him. So typically if they reach out to me and say, hey, tell me more about this challenge group, that's where you're at. Then I'm going to say, listen, why don't we go ahead and get you on the phone so I can just kind of get to know you and get to know where you're at. That way I can make sure that we plug you into the right resources and give you the right recommendation. So I need to spend some time with him getting to know where he's at. Does that make sense? Or getting to know if he qualifies or what he qualifies for. Because I want to evaluate so I can narrow that path and plug him into the right program or into the right support group, all right? So we get on the phone. Now listen, when I do step 2, you're going to hear me do this, okay? You're going to hear me do relationship first. I spend about 2 minutes on life. So write that down, 2 minutes on life. It doesn't take 2 hours on life. It's a 2 to 3 minute deal about life. Let me get to know who you are, where you're from, what you do, right? Are you married? Are you not married? You got kids? What do you do for fun? Tell me a little bit about yourself. And then you're going to hear me go through questions on the pillars of fitness, nutrition, support, and those 3 pillars. And I could go through rewards. I typically don't. But now that I keep seeing Carl doing it, I'm thinking Carl's a pretty smart guy. Maybe I need to start asking about that a little more, right? Yeah. But I always do the 3 pillars. I'm going to walk him through fitness, nutrition, and support. And in doing that, I'm going to undig all of the topics of time, spouse, fitness level, money, all of that stuff. We're going to put together a plan that totally avoids those objections from happening later. How many of you would like to do that? Right? And it's a 20-minute conversation. We're not going to do all 20 minutes today, right? But in this situation, let's talk about that. So let's say we get on the phone. I dial you up. You answer the phone.
Hello? Ring.
Yeah. Hey, is this Chris?
Yeah, it is. Hey.
Awesome. Hey, man, this is Tommy, the guy that was talking to you on Facebook.
Oh, what's up, Tommy?
So cool, man. Yeah, dude, I was so glad that you had reached out to me today, and we're definitely looking for some people that need some help with your health and fitness, and I know that you were telling me on Facebook about you had just recently had some hip replacement and all that stuff, and so thanks, man. I only got a few minutes of time tonight to spend with you and just make sure that we do the right thing for you, because I don't want you to waste your time or your money or anything like that. So why don't we just talk about that? First of all, before we get into all that, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Where are you from?
I'm from Boston.
Okay, so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Boston.
Born and raised?
Yep, born and raised.
Okay.
All over East Coast area or eastern part of the state.
Yeah.
And 30 years old, and just had that hip procedure that I told you about. So.
Okay, awesome, man. So how did that go for you? That whole hip procedure?
Pretty tough. It was about a 6 to 7 month recovery.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. So are you single? Are you married?
Single. Yep.
So the whole time he's doing this, I'm taking notes, right? And I'll actually tell him, hey, forgive me, I'm taking some notes here. I want to make sure that I know every detail that you're telling me.
Because it's really important to me.
Because it's really important, right? And I take notes on every phone call. Every phone call. If you're not taking notes on phone calls, okay, because when you're taking notes, whether you tell them or not, they know that you are. Because when you're taking notes, it forces you to shut the hell up and listen. And many of us run into objections because we don't shut our friggin' mouth. And that's the truth. And I'm one of them.
Guilty.
So I take notes because if I don't, I'm gonna screw it up. Okay? So anyway, so I'm taking notes. So you're single? How old are you, man?
30.
30 years old, yeah, man. Yeah, dude, I was single for a long time. In fact, I just got married a year ago. I never thought I would, but...
Congratulations.
So you got any prospects in that area? I mean, how's that going?
Nope.
No?
I'm focused on business right now.
Cool. Oh, tell me about your business. What kind of business?
I just started as a Beachbody coach.
Oh, okay. Well, let's tell you, what else do you do besides Beachbody?
I work at a steel company.
Oh, you work at a steel company?
Yeah,
okay, so cool. So tell me about your job, man.
It's brutal. I'm on my feet all day long.
Oh, wow.
Manual labor, no AC, no heat in the winter or summer, and it's not where I want to be. So.
Oh, awesome, man. Okay, yeah, I get that. No, I mean...
You don't want to slam him. You don't want to make him feel bad, like, oh man, you're an idiot for having that job.
Yeah, man. I totally understand.
He says it's cool.
Dude, I totally understand that.
That's why I became a Beachbody coach.
Yeah, that's cool. But when he's talking about his job, it might trigger me to go into the conversation about coaching. I don't know yet. I'm feeling it out. Does that make sense? Okay, but he starts talking about his job, and it sucks and all that. I might switch from, I might now cover money and income as part of step 2. After I do fitness, nutrition, and support, then I'll go into the stuff that I cover with coaching. Does that make sense? So, dude, yeah, I totally understand that. So anyway, why don't we go ahead and talk about this challenge thing, and we'll see, after I ask you a few questions. I'm going to ask you about some specific areas that we work with, okay?
Sure.
What we do is, with challenge groups is, fitness, nutrition, and support, and that's what really equals success. So all those great testimonials that you see, the ones that you replied to, all focused on those 3 areas. So I'm going to go through each of those areas with you, and just kind of figure out what you want. So why don't we talk about fitness first? So tell me, I mean, when's the last time you worked out? When I talk to him about fitness, I want to talk to him about his level of fitness, his fitness goals, and like his history with fitness. What have you done before? What did you like about that? What did you not like about that? Okay? So tell me what kind of fitness program you might like. Okay, so anyway, so tell me about like your workouts. So tell me about your average like fitness stuff. What do you do?
Well, the last time I worked out was before the surgery.
Okay.
And I normally I'm lifting weights and I'm trying to get in cardio.
Cool. So do you enjoy
what do you sports? In high school, so I'm into the whole plyo type of thing or the calisthenics, but really right now it's just the gym and
so
cardio.
What did you enjoy more, the strength training or the cardio, or you like a combination of the both? Why am I asking him that? I'm trying to pair him with programs, right? If he likes strength training, I'm certainly not going to put him in insanity. That's stupid. It is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking for the perfect marriage of both.
Okay, awesome. So on average, how much time do you spend working out in a day or a week?
In a day.
Or how much would you like to spend?
How much would I like to spend? 45 minutes? 50 minutes?
Like
under an hour.
Like under an hour a day. So an hour is too long. Would 30 minutes be great?
30 minutes would be awesome.
Yeah, okay, so because we definitely have some stuff that could do that. So, I mean, how are you with like choreography? I mean, do you like hot chicks bouncing around?
Yes, that's a check.
I mean, I do too, because sometimes I do something. Anyway.
Works for me.
Classy Tommy.
Hey, if he's a single guy that's 30 from from Boston. You know he loves that.
He's connecting with him.
I'm talking what he likes, right? I'm talking about what he likes, which just happens to be what I like too. My wife's gonna kill me. So cool, so awesome, dude. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have some programs that kind of fit what you're looking for as far as the amount of time and the types and styles. And so I just want to make sure we get you into the right challenge pack before we do that. So why don't we go ahead and talk about nutrition? So tell me about what you do nutritionally throughout the day. What's an average day for you eating? Ask that question. What's an average day of you eating? Tell me about the whole day. Right?
Usually don't even get breakfast out the door. It's a long drive to work, about an hour and a half
awesome.
Each way. And then I try to do something healthy for lunch, but I usually only have 20 minutes for lunch. So by the time I get back from the supermarket, it's got to be like a microwave type.
So you're not eating anything, nothing till noon? Really
nothing, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little snack.
And a little snack, okay. And then what?
And then dinner is catch as catch can, maybe before or after the gym.
Okay. So you're going to the gym too?
Trying to.
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
Okay. Awesome. I say awesome a lot. Awesome. Okay, cool. So what about how many times a week do you like go out to eat? Do you usually for lunch when you do lunch? I mean, are you usually grabbing something? Do you pack your lunch, or are you like going to Subway and buying a little $8 sub, or what are you doing?
Little both. For lunch, usually it'd be 50-50 during the week, and then on the weekends or at night, maybe 3 or 4 times.
Okay. So cool. So like on average, when you go out to those places, how much money are you spending?
Too much. 30, 40.
Do you guys understand what I'm doing right now? Right.
He's painting him into a corner in essence with information that he freely gave him.
Yeah. I want to know his habits. I want to know what he's eating, when he's eating, where he's eating it, where he's buying it, all of that stuff. Because then when I recommend Shakeology at $4 a day, he's a dumbass if he doesn't take it. Right?
Chris Ryan from Boston.
Okay. So
sorry.
So let's go. So why don't we talk about that? So listen, I know that you're not married. So talk to me about, because support is a really big part of what we do as a network, and we believe that it's because of the accountability of what we do. That's why we get such great results with our challenge groups. And so we're looking for people who are willing to kind of succumb to that accountability and be part of a group that holds each other accountable. Have you ever done something like that? I know you played sports. You know how in a sports team that happens?
Just the team atmosphere and all that stuff. That's pretty much it. I mean.
So do you have some buddies that like to work out with you too, that might want to do this with you?
A couple buddies, yeah. One that's real into fitness, and my brother, he'd definitely be down to
referrals.
Awesome. So. No, that's so cool, because what's going to be important is this: not only are you part of our group, but that you also build a support group there locally for you. So after we enroll you in this pack, I'm assuming the sale. After we enroll you in this pack, then maybe we'll go to those friends and your brother and all those guys and see if this is something they might want to do with you. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'll talk to them. Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. Awesome.
He's assuming the sale. That's a big key.
I'm assuming the sale. So I'm assuming that after we enroll you, and I'm painting the vision, right? Okay. So awesome. Well, here's what I'm going to do. It sounds to me like this is definitely something that you're going to want to consider. In fact, but what I want you to do real quick, if I send you a couple videos right now, would you have about 10 minutes to watch those, and then we could jump back on the phone immediately after?
I could do that.
Is that cool? Since we connected on Facebook, why don't I go ahead and send you those videos through your Facebook? You can watch. It's going to explain a little bit more about our challenge groups and what we do. And I'm going to send you specifically about a program called T25, which definitely has the balance of cardio and strength training, and does it in less than that hour or 45 minutes a day for you.
Really?
Is that cool?
Okay,
yeah. And in fact, I've done the program, and I lost about 7 inches on my waist in 8 weeks.
Jeez.
And so it definitely works, even though it's only 25 minutes a day. All right? Yeah. So I'm going to send him videos. I'm going to do what? I'm going to connect him to a resource. I'm going to let him watch those videos. I'm going to set the follow-up appointment for when? Immediately after he watches it. So I spent about 10 to 15 minutes on the phone. 10 to 15 minutes on the phone going through those pillars, connect him to a resource, and I'm going to follow up with him on the phone. So awesome. So Chris, hey man, I know you had a chance to check out those videos. What'd you like about them? You want to ask that? What'd you like about them?
I definitely liked, like we said, it combined, the strength training with the cardio, and it was efficient with the, 25 minutes. So.
Awesome, man. So listen. So why don't we go ahead and do this? Are you sitting at a computer right now?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because it definitely sounds like this is something you're ready to do. So why don't we go ahead and get you signed up for an account? I'm going to walk you step by step through the enrollment process. And then immediately following, we'll go into exactly what the expectations are for the challenge group and all that stuff.
Okay.
And get you set up for all that accountability stuff that we talked about. Okay? Cool, so that's it. And I walk them through the enrollment. Does that help you guys at all, the questions that we asked? And how we did that? Right? Yeah, I'll do that. You know, it depends on the situation. Sometimes, actually with him, I think I already had him before I said, I'll skip step 3. I won't force him into step 3. I already had him hooked. I only did step 3 really in that situation to show you guys what I would do with someone that, I'd send them to step 3 if I think they still need more information. Does that make sense? In his situation, I don't know that he needed more information. I did such a good job with fitness, nutrition, and support, and I think he was already giving me referrals of his brothers and all that. I probably would have walked him right to step 5 and just skipped 3 and 4. Yes?
What if he said after that he had to wait till payday to buy the challenge back?
Okay.
So there's 2 questions. There's the, I don't have time to watch this right now question, and what if I have to wait
there's an objection, right? No, I'll just set the appointment. I'll say, okay, so tell me, when is the most immediate time that you can actually spend those 10 minutes? I'll schedule the appointment for him to watch it. Does that make sense? I'll make an appointment for him to watch it. That's what I'm thinking is, I want to find out, you can't do it right now, okay, when can you? So when in the next 24 hours can you watch these videos? Can you watch them later tonight, or would tomorrow morning work better for you?
Notice he just gave him 2 choices at a time. So now he's not talking about will you watch a video, he's talking about when will you watch the video. It's the assumptive.
Yeah. You guys understand, right?
Yeah.
Specific time. I'm trying to narrow the path for him to get him focused on when he's going to do it. Does that make sense? Okay? That's it. Now, let's say that we happen to talk about coaching. I'm going to talk to them about income, all of those things. Like, first of all, I might ask him, it depends on who he is. Maybe he's already a fitness trainer or someone who's already, Nate, stand up. Nate Gardner lost, he's a stud. He lost 80 pounds, not with Beachbody. He lost 80 pounds. When I met him, he had already lost 80 pounds. And so the questions I had asked Nate, Nate made $1,400 in his first month as a coach, right? And he scored 27 points in the team cup when we were on the team cup. So, in his second month, right? So anyway, but when I spoke with Nate, someone who already was excited about health, fitness, weight loss, I asked Nate questions like, so Nate, let me ask you something, man. Are there a lot of people that ask you about how to lose weight and how to get fit and all that stuff? Yeah. How much time do you spend talking to those people about those topics? A lot. How much money are you making talking to them about it? None. What if I could show you a way where you could do what you're already doing and actually help them get better solutions that doesn't suck up all of your time and explanation, and you actually got paid some money to do it? Ding, 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 right? But I was trying to uncover where he was. You guys understand that? But with the challenger, I might say, listen, it seems like you're enthusiastic about this, so you're 6 weeks in, let me ask you, do you already have people asking you about what you're doing? Are you already talking about it? Right? Is this something you're already recommending to people? Yes, John.
Just a quick follow-up on the trainer. When you're going to get him started, then if he doesn't look at the challenge packs that are already in shape, what one do you
That's an easy one.
No, so I don't get it. It's not optional. I say, listen, this is how we enroll with the challenge pack.
So John's question is, what if he's already super fit? How would I recommend a workout? Well, it's easy. So what I like to do is I like to kind of one-up the person. So if he's the Sean T standing next to me, I'll say, hey, well, you realize like half the Olympians and all these professional athletes use our stuff. So I'm gonna take it from an authoritative position. It's not me. I don't have to be that professional athlete, but it's easy for them to Google Kelly Slater, the greatest surfer on earth, uses P90X to stay in shape, and he's still winning everything. Paulo Antonoto, Hope Solo. Well, I think collect your stories. Know your stories. Know your stories.
So cool. So let's give it up for Chris. Chris, we appreciate you being on the road. You did a great job, man. So listen, there are going to be times when you run into objections, right? There are going to be times when you run into objections. One of the things that I like to use, which is really simple, is the whole I don't know, all I know is, right? Yeah. Don't be the expert. I don't know, all I know is. So when someone does give you that, hey, I don't know, all I know is, I don't have time to watch the videos. That's an objection. Time. I don't have time to watch the videos right now. Well, I don't know about that. All I know is we got to get you to watch these in the next 24 hours. Otherwise, it's probably not going to happen, right? So when can you do it? Another thing that you like to do is spring them back to their why.
Yeah, I like to circle back to the why, because what we've really demonstrated is that we ask a lot of questions. So with that, you bring them to the sale. So if I get immediate objections of time or money or spouse or whatever, I'll say something like, hey, you know what, if I can help you answer those questions, will you move forward with me? If I can help you answer those questions, will you move forward with me? It's a yes or no question. If they say no, your conversation's over. But really, no? But if they say yes, we take them back to their why. Let me ask you some more things about your goals, because maybe I missed some things. I want to make sure this is really important to me to understand. I want to help you get to your goals. And I take it right back to step 2. If you had 20 minutes for a conversation with somebody, how long would you spend in step 2?
15 to 17.
The bulk of the time.
Yeah. If I do a 20-minute phone call, 15 to 17 minutes of that is in step 2.
So most objections truly come from not spending the time in step 2, which is just finding out what do you want to get out of this.
So write that down. Write this down real quick, because we're out of time. We're at zeros, and Arnold's like pulling the hook on us. But here's the thing. What he just said was this: ask them what their specific questions are. Don't assume what their objection is. Say, listen, it sounds like you have some questions. Why don't we go ahead and you can tell me what specific questions you have, and if I could answer those, is this something that you truly want to do? Right?
Yeah.
Okay? So get their specific questions. So guys, listen, we've covered a lot of things today for you. We role-played some things, gave you some entertainment. Did you guys get at least a few things out of this that you Cool, awesome, good. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is if you got something you can take. So here's what I want you to do is I want you to find partners. And the rest of the time you're at Summit, you know, instead of sitting around talking about some role play, spend that time in your room or at the lunch table actually role playing with each other. Make it a habit to practice this stuff. That's how you're going to get good. All right? Go ahead.
Yeah, so if you guys want more on this, since we're short on time, we can do is make some of our next team calls on handling objections, and we make those calls public. So if you guys want to tune into our team calls, we're both on Monday nights.
You guys are welcome on Monday nights.
Welcome, they're free.
To plug into either of our calls. I post it every time on Facebook, right? So awesome, guys. Hey, listen, go enjoy the rest of your day. We appreciate